This week's movie, The Martian, could have simply been titled Oops, as in, oops, we left one of our astronauts behind on Mars. My bad. Upon further reflection, I'm glad they went with The Martian, though. Now, I'm retro reviewing this movie because many people love it, and because the plot includes growing potatoes on Mars with human feces. Can't beat that, right? So, let's get on with my retro review, rather, of this Turds for Taters space epic on this episode of Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica Live, a 2015 The Martian movie edition of Movies Merica Live. And I, as always, am your humble host, Van Ebert, otherwise known as Movies Merica. And I want to thank all my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there. You know, the ones that just can't shut up about movies after they watch a movie right there. You know, the guys or gals that want to talk about movies, and then, you know, whoever they're talking to is like, shut up. My God, it was just a movie. All right. Can we go to IHOP now? You know, like, you know, if you're that person, like I'm that person where I'm the guy who just will not stop yapping about a movie, you know, usually when they're good, then yes, you are home. All right. Put your feet up, kick back, relax, grab yourself a brewski right here. It's Movies Merica Live time here right now. Okay, so hey, and if maybe you're watching like you know, March Madness basketball or something like that, you know, like hey, you know, hit pause on it for like 15 minutes. You know, that way, hey, you can you know, go back to it after 15 minutes. You can fast forward through all those annoying commercials because you know, how many times can you watch the same Capital One commercial with Charles Barkley and Samuel L. Jackson, right? You know, like it just gets so annoying, right? So you want to you don't want to go through all that stuff right there. But yeah, again, we're talking about The Martian here, and so let's get right into it. And so this movie is, of course, directed by Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott is a legendary director. Okay, I mean the guy only made Alien and Blade Runner and Black Hawk Down and Gladiator. I mean, I could go on and on. All the movies he's made there. And so, and then, you know, he came out with The Martian in 2015. And this was a real departure for him here. I had never really seen a movie that was like this, you know, like this kind of happy-go-lucky and hopeful from Ridley Scott. It's kind of like an inspirational, very a very not approachable there, I guess approachable, yeah, an approachable movie because usually Ridley Scott, like the vast majority of his movies are R-rated, and they're R-rated for a reason. They usually got some pretty, you know, pretty explicit violence and cursing and all that in it. So, but this one is like a good movie where hey, I can take my family, I can take the kids, you know, I could, you know, take all the urchins here and spend $500 at the movies because you know it costs like 18, $20 a person to go to the movies nowadays, all right? But yeah, he directed this one, and man, did he have a cast in this movie? I mean, like Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Michael Pena, Kate Mara, Jeff Daniels. You know, I mean, he had like Chiewetel Ejiofor, which I can't be positive I'm pronouncing that name correctly right there. That is a name and a half. You know, yeah, you've got Sean Bean. Hey, you've got Ned, you know, Ned. Ned Stark in this movie. I was about to say Ned Flanders. Howdy ho, neighbor. But yeah, I got Ned Stark in this bad boy. You got, you know, what's that? Not BD Wong, Benedict Wong. I'm getting my Wongs wrong here. Okay, just a hell of a cast in this movie, and they all just sync off each other's just so well in The Martian. And this movie is, I mean, it's got drama in it, but it's also really funny in this movie, and it also gets you involved. And essentially, just in case you haven't seen it here, I'll go over the plot in very broad strokes, very briefly here. Okay, because I know that, I mean, probably most people that are watching this have seen The Martian, so I don't care if I drop spoilers, but I'm still going to try not to drop spoilers because there is a chance that someone hasn't seen this movie. I mean, it doesn't have the Marvel logo on it. It doesn't have the DC logo. It doesn't have Star Wars on it. So a lot of people may not have seen this movie here. I mean, it was the number one box office hit the first weekend it came out back in 2015. So, but it's been a while, right? And so, yeah, the plot of this is essentially we've got this NASA crew. They're on Mars. They're on a mission. Suddenly, this big, hurricane windstorm comes by, and the team or the mission team captain is like, "Hey, we gotta evacuate out of here." Matt Damon's character, Mark Watney, he's going out to the ship with them. He gets hit with some debris from the high winds. It's all dark. They can't find him. And, the pilot of the ship's like, "Hey, man, we all got to leave right now because this wind is about to tip this ship over. We can either all stay here and die and look for Mark, or we can all, we can get in the ship and we can save the rest of us." And, unfortunately, Mark Watney, he'll be the one dead, right? So, well, they all take off, and then, whoa, lo and behold, hey, you know what? This is not a spoiler because it's in there. It's in the trailer. It's what the whole plot's about. Hey, Mark Watney's not dead. Okay, and so this movie becomes Mark Watney, Matt Damon's character, trying to survive on Mars, for what, 4 or 5 years. And of course, you're on Mars, millions and millions and millions of light years away from your home there. It doesn't, it's not exactly like, taking a trip down, to your local gas and gulp and it's right around the corner. I mean, we're talking Earth to Mars, okay? A little smidge of distance right there, a little smidge, okay, right there. And so he's got to try to make food last for 4 or 5 years, however long it is. He's basically got to try to make sure that the Mars atmosphere doesn't freeze him to death, okay, because you can't breathe on Mars atmosphere. You basically it's the temperatures get 100 degrees below zero there, and so basically Mark Watney's trying to survive, and then back on Earth, NASA and the bigwigs at NASA are trying to work together with the astronauts that are up still in space, his team, all together to try to rescue Mark Watney there. So it's it's a good old fashioned kind of rescue, not kind of, it's a rescue movie there. It's fantastic there. So, and I'm going to give up the ghost right off the bat. I mean, I love this movie. It's one of my all time favorite movies. It's fantastic. It's chef's kiss, my friends. It's fantastic. And so I'm not even gonna wait till the end with my final thoughts on this movie. I'm gonna just tell you right from the jump, hey, go see this movie here and enjoy yourself and watch it with whoever you want, because this movie is just fine for everybody to watch. You can set your 3-year-old in front of this movie and they can watch. Well, your 3-year-old's probably going to fall asleep to this movie. So, but anyway, you get my point there. So, all right, let's move on with the show. All right, and of course, we have plenty more of The Martian to talk about. And I got to say, I love movies where the plot revolves around an honorable objective involving the whole world rooting for that objective to be achieved. I mean, it's a feel good movie, a feel good film. Disaster movies where a crew is sent to try to stop the disaster are perfect examples of this. I mean, think Deep Impact, think Armageddon. Okay, another movie like this that's not a disaster movie, but like Apollo 13, right? The whole world is hoping and yearning for the safety of the Apollo 13, astronauts coming back there in Apollo 13. So, and the plot of The Martian embodies this type of movie totally. I mean, you have the whole world, regardless of political preference, military conflict, rooting for, no, not rooting for, yearning for the rescue of American astronaut Mark Watney. And even though, even the Chinese get involved with rescuing him, I mean, and I like this inspirational video made, just for the movie about everyone banding together in for Mark Watney's survival. So this is just like a viral video that was made for the movie The Martian here.
I've always thought about how much more we can learn if we just dare to go farther.
People around the world are rallying behind one simple, endearing notion. Bring him home.
We have seen hundreds of messages of support of this brave astronaut.
Watney's ordeal is far from over. NASA is doing everything they can to figure out how to save him.
Isn't that cool? That is cool. And that video combined with the ending of The Martian will get the old waterworks going. All right, man. I'll tell you, I remember when I went and saw this at the theater, and at the end of the movie, man, there was not a dry eye in the theater there. So, but Matt Damon, does a masterful job at making you care about his Mark Watney character. I mean, Matt Damon's been, doing this acting thing for a while. I mean, it's been a while, since we heard him say, "Hey, how you like them apples?" Remember that? Yeah, Good Will Hunting. It's been a while, okay, since he was in that movie there. So, Matt Damon, as the Mark Watney character, he's funny, he's relatable, he's endearingly intelligent, and he's emotionally vulnerable. And he shows that during events and situations where we can relate to his emotional reaction in those moments. He's never too good to not bust balls with the rest of his crew and then get his balls busted in return. Ironically, in a bro code kind of way, it shows that there's a mutual love, between him and his crew. And of course, the ultimate evidence of that is his crew not hesitating for a second to extend their time in space enough to go back and rescue Mark. I mean, they extend their time in space for almost 2 years, something like that. They delay reuniting with their families and all that. And I mean, it's only right. I mean, they did just leave him on Mars, so they owe him. Like leaving one of your kids back at home and going on vacation to Paris for Christmas. Hmm. Hmm. That sounds like a fantastic idea for a hit Christmas movie. Yeah, that just sounds from leaving one of your kids back at home while you go on a Christmas trip. Interesting. There you go. I gotta start writing a script based on that. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. All right. And hey, let me just take a quick minute here to remind you that there is this button called the like button right on down there. And feel free to click on said like button if you are so inclined, if you are genuinely digging what I'm doing, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, okay? And then also, since you're down there, clicking buttons already as we speak, there is the subscribe or follow button also down there. And so feel free to click on that button if you so desire. Now, don't click on it if you've already clicked on it, okay? Because then you'll unsubscribe or unfollow. And then also down there, there's the notification bell button, and you can click on that if you haven't already clicked on it already there. And the notification bell, don't worry, it's not going to pester you and stalk your email inbox or, send a singing telegram letting you know that there's a brand new episode of Movies Merica. Now, all it's going to do is send one lonely email to your inbox just to remind you that there is a piping hot, new, fresh, delicious, scintillating episode of Movies Merica coming hot, fresh out of the oven just for you, okay? Just one email. That's it. One email. You can handle that, right? You can handle it. Yeah, it's all good. And then as we wrap this boring segment up, I know it's very, very boring. Just want to really quickly just address the viewers that are not watching this live. If you're watching the recording of it, first off, thumbs up to you for watching. I appreciate it. How you doing? And we can still communicate back and forth with each other. We're just going to have to do it via the comments section. And the comments section is down below right there. And so, yeah, feel free to comment down there about whatever you like. Let me know if you think I suck or if you think you're awesome, fan. You're the reason YouTube was invented. Or if you're like, meh, I don't know. I don't know if you're good or bad. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't know. Okay. So, any one of those works right there. So yeah, go ahead and comment your little hearts out right there. But all right, enough of that. We're mercifully wrapping that part up. All right, we have got some more The Martian to talk about here, of course, right there, because that's what you guys are here for. Real quick here, just want to remind you, the live chat is available, okay? So if you're sitting there, if you're watching the show live right now, and you're like, good, this is boring, man. What the hell? I wish this was more interactive. Hey, get in the live chat and tell me you think this show is boring, okay? Get in the live chat, say, hey, Van, perk some stuff up, man. Let's make this more excitable, all right? Like, I want to see some fireworks. I want to hear some. I want to see. Sunday, monster truck rally. I want you to get more enthused. All that. I mean, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Like all this. I mean, if you want me to like go all, just emphatically excited like that, hey, let me know in the live chat. But I'm not going to do it until you let me know. So this is what you get until you let me know in the live chat. And I can't hold your hand and direct you to the live chat. You got to go there yourself right there. Or if you want to try to throw me off of whatever game I think I have, if you want to distract me in the live chat and completely throw me off my little, my little itinerary I have here for the show, by all means, go ahead and do that in the live chat on Rumble or YouTube. All right. So let's talk more The Martian. And I got to say, it's a smidge weird to see a Ridley Scott space movie that doesn't feature aliens that'll literally rip your face off, okay? And that's when they're not bursting through your chest, okay? Those are not friendly aliens. Those are not the E.T., Rocky from, Project Hail Mary kind of friendly, aliens right there. No, those are the ones that just literally, they'll basically just split you right in half, man. That's the kind of aliens I'm used to seeing in Ridley Scott movies, but not this one right here. And to Ridley's credit, he's done a complete 180 in contrast to his Alien films and created a inspirational, entertaining, emotional, rousing, and scientific movie, for all you nerds. Okay, all right. And he's demonstrating that he is a well-rounded director. I mean, just do this. Just like do a little have a big film festival right there in your house, little movie spree there. Just watch Alien, and then Blade Runner, and then Thelma and Louise, then Gladiator, then Matchstick Men, and then The Martian. Now, if doing that doesn't get it through your head that he's a Renaissance man of a director, there's no hope for you. All right, I can't. I don't know what to tell you. I can't. There's no help for you, man. I can't. There's no pill that'll cure what's ailing you there. That's for sure. However, there's hope for Mark Watney in The Martian, and Ridley Scott constantly, throughout the whole movie, masterfully makes that the core of this movie. Also his movies always just look sensational, don't they? I mean, just beautiful, just gorgeous, And he's got his longtime director of photography, Darius Wolski, with him on The Martian too, and it shows. I mean, the imagery, it looks so crisp, like a freshly opened, little tube of Pringles, Pringles chips right there. It's so crisp, so tasty and slick and detailed in a "you are there" kind of way. The color palettes are first rate and stylish and eye popping. It's amazing Volsky wasn't even nominated for a Best Cinematography Oscar the year this movie came out here. Now, what was nominated for an Oscar for The Martian are the impressive visual effects, but ultimately, sadly, The Martian lost out to Ex Machina, which I gotta hand it to Ex Machina. They do, there's some pretty good visual effects there in Ex Machina there, and even though there was plenty of love for from critics and movie audiences for The Martian, there was no love lost by the Oscar voters for The Martian. I mean, they are famously, stuck up. They famously look down their nose at most sci-fi movies. If it's not like a war drama starring a black lesbian quadriplegic who leads the fight against a bunch of evil white people, your movie's gonna have an uphill climb to win an Oscar. Now, what I just described, now that's Oscar gold. There you go. And The Martian, it had 7 Oscar nominations. I mean, it did get some Oscar nominations. It had 7 of them and won none of them. God. Those Oscar voters. Wah, 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 wah. Now, Ridley Scott didn't even get nominated for Best Director to add onto that, just to completely, keep piling on. I mean, he hasn't been nominated for Best Director for any movie since Black Hawk Down. I mean, back in 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. And he's never won Best Director. I mean, believe it or not. So, and I mean, he provides great direction for actors.
Capcom, go.
There was a scripted moment when the character was supposed to break down, and when we got to it, it felt forced. And Ridley and I kind of looked at each other and were like, this doesn't feel right, does it?
Remote command, go.
We'd shot stuff with the other actors months earlier, but they'd all gone home. And Ridley and I had made all those scenes just together, where it was just me on camera.
Recovery, go.
And so suddenly I heard in my helmet, as the gimbal starts to shudder as if this thing is going to take off, and the light effects start to happen, and you really feel like you're about to kind of take off. And suddenly I heard the voices of all of these actors who were my buddies,
Secondary recovery,
go. And it dawned on me, thinking through the filter of this character, like he hadn't heard a voice in a year, and that these people had made this sacrifice to come back for him.
pilot,
go. It just totally happened, and it wasn't planned. That's just great directing. That's Ridley just kind of put a move on me. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, and I the only thing I can think of with Ridley Scott, why he doesn't get, he doesn't win, for Best Director, is he's kind of crusty. He's kind of, moody and, crotchety there. And so part of winning an Oscar is campaigning for it and, and smooching the right butt cheeks there, So I don't think he is really down to do that. I'm sure like some of the studios he's made movies for are like, hey, Ridley, come on, man, put some chapstick, pucker up, and you know what, just grin and bear it, man. There you go. All right. And he's like, nope, not gonna do it. All right. These lips will not meet the buttocks of any Oscar voters, that's for sure. So to put it crudely, I should say right there. But I think what he needs to do is, I think he needs to do a Paul Thomas Anderson and make a movie that checks off every leftist fantasy plot point to win a Best Director Oscar. I mean, it's just one battle after another for poor old Ridley here. I mean, the poor guy is going through hell, I tell you. So there you go. But real quick here, I'm getting thirsty, and I've got this beer over here to my left, giving me the the side eye over here, going, hey, aren't you going to talk about me, man? Come on, these people want to know about this brew. And you know what? I'm all about giving the people what they want. So let's get right into a little brew review time. All right, let me introduce you to today's beer. And we're all about truth. We're all about action. And we're all about truth in action. India Pale Ale right there. Let me get a better grip on that bad boy because I do not want to spill this on my keyboard. That would be bad. Okay, there we go. But yeah, Truth and Action IPA. It's brewed by Central Waters Brewing Company, and it's known for its classic bitter and dry profile here. I mean, it is an IPA. It's an India Pale Ale. They're known for a lot of hops there, especially if you drink a double IPA or a double bock or Doppelbock is what they're called. They're IPAs. I mean, anytime you hear India Pale Ale, just think hops right there. So think bitter, but in a good way. Okay, if you are an IPA fan, I like IPAs. My palate enjoys the bitter taste because it recognizes that it's a good bitter taste. All right, because it's combined with a bunch of other stuff there. Such as hops like Citra and Mandarina, Bavaria, and Mosaic hops right there. So yeah, you've got the hops and all of that mixed in with just other flavor notes like citrusy grapefruit notes, and also some people say that it's got like this light cracker like finish, a cracker please, right? So and it's got some nice malt character to it and a light finish as well, and it does pour with like a dense head. It's got this, dense head, obviously, the bubbles at the top, obviously, in case there's some people in here like, did you just say head? Yeah, I'm referring to beer head. Didn't sound very good either. So that sounds like something you get done to you in the middle of a brewery. The head, when somebody pours a beer and you got the bubbles up at the top, that's what I'm referring to. There we go. And that is dense on a Truth and Action IPA here. So and it's got a slight haze to the color of the beer from a double dry hopping process. But you guys really don't care about like what it looks like, right? You care about like what it tastes like, right? And yeah, it's got like I said before, it's got the grapefruit notes in it. It's a very citrusy here, and that combined with the bitterness makes the bitterness tolerable, and it just makes this overall a well-rounded beer here. So obviously, as you can tell, I'm recommending this beer, the Truth and Action. Okay, I'm giving you some truth and action by telling you the truth about this beer and telling you that yeah, you should pick some of this up right there. And just in case or just to give you some ideas as far as how you can get your hands on this beer here, you can go to like the Open Bar app on your phone. It's available like on both iOS and Android. If the beer is available in your area, you can call up Uber Eats or use the Uber Eats app. Call up Uber Eats, and Uber Eats, they deliver not just grub, they deliver booze as well. If you are in an area that's nowhere near an area where Truth and Action is available, we could go to a website like gopuff.com, puff as in puffing your bong or puff the magic dragon, right? And they specialize in delivering beer that's not in your area to anywhere in the world. Okay, so if you're in Bangladesh and you want a beer that's brewed in Wisconsin, then hey, yeah, get on gopuff.com and you'll get that Wisconsin beer delivered to you. It's going to cost you some scratch, though. I will tell you that. But you will get it in your hand, all right? So, and this beer also comes to us at a IPA level. Well, not an IPA level, an ABV level, alcohol by volume of 7.1% there. So, yeah, it's got a not mild ABV there, but that's, ABVs are typically a little higher for IPAs and all that stuff. But anyway, enough about me just yapping and talking and describing the beer here. I'm going to take a good old drink off this thing because, I mean, that's what matters most is how does it taste, right? So to that end. Excellent. Excellent right there. I'm going to set that bad boy down right there. But yeah, so I'm giving it my personal endorsement here. I can see it going down real smooth, when you're in the middle of a lake on a hot July day on a bass boat, you're casting out your line and, you're like, God, nothing's biting, man. Well, when that happens, you might as well just get pissed drunk on your boat. Okay. But hey, don't boat and drink though. Okay. Don't drink and boat. All right. So don't do that. But hey, if you're not the designated boater, is that a thing? Hey, getting hammered out of your gourd to soak up that depression from the fish not biting. All right, there you go. So that's allowed right there. And who knows, this, but I could see this being a good beer for that occasion, or sitting on your deck, after you just got done mowing your yard, and you just, you're taking a well-earned break or something like that. So yeah, so check out the old Truth and Action IPA there from Central Waters Brewing Company there. All right. But you know what? I think it's time to wrap up this brew review time. All right, let me double check something here real quick. I just want to make sure that we have got everything in order over here. There we go. All right. And all right, I want to do this here and just make sure that I am turning you on to something that I think you're really going to appreciate me showing you right here. And now that, of course, is the Movies Merica merch store here. Okay, so it's not enough to watch the show; you should wear it. Okay, it's just a fun time wearing the show as opposed to just watching it. Right. So, and as you see right here, the first thing we've got here is the Big Mugs Movies Merica logo, camo trucker hat, and it's embroidered. Okay, and just full disclosure, there is no purple on this hat right here, unfortunately. So I know I'm just as disappointed as you, but yeah, no purple on that. But everything else looks the way that you see here on the website there. But yeah, but we don't just have hats. We got T-shirts here, and we don't just have just one Movies Merica style logo. We have got multiple styles of Movies Merica logos here, and we're gonna start out here with the Big Mugs Movies Merica logo on some T-shirts here, and we got we got a tank top there. If you want a wife beater, you can get yourself the tank top in white there. There we go. I got the white tank top. I could just see the pepperoni stain right there. Yeah, there we go. So but don't do that. Keep your Movies Merica wife beater clean, right? So, which a lot of it would be saying, hey, well, if it was a clean white Movies Merica wife beater, it wouldn't be a wife beater. There we go. Now that's what you call a tangent there, okay? And so, but we have also the Big Mugs Movies Merica logo on the baseball long sleeve and hoodies and windbreakers and that kind of thing there. Even got a sports bra for the ladies. And I stress the ladies, all right, only. All right, there we go. And we got more hats here. And now we're to another style of Movies Merica logo as I beer burp over here. That is not cool. We've got the Holly Weird style of Movies Merica logo here. And again, we got them on a number of T-shirts, hoodies, windbreakers, all of that there. And then we're also getting down to my favorite style of Movies Merica logo. That's the Black Adam style of Movies Merica. And I really like this T-shirt right there. So yeah, absolutely. So, and I'm in just as good shape as that guy right there. Totally. Yeah. All right. And yeah, we got the tank top, and we got the baseball long sleeve there with the Black Adam style Movies Merica logo. And now you might be saying, hey, Van, I am such a fanatic about your show. I've got all the clothing items already, minus the sports bra, hanging up in my closet already. So I'm good to go on that front. But man, I'm parched. My throat is dry. All right, I need something to drink, man. Do you happen to have any kind of Movies Merica drinkware of any sorts? And friend, get ready to be happy, because yes, as you see right here, we've got pint glasses. We got a can-shaped glass there. We got a coffee mug right there for all you coffee drinkers. And yeah, we got a number of other things here too. We got a stainless steel koozie. You can be the coolest guy, at the family reunion with your Big Mugs Movies Merica koozie. You got the traditional koozie that I'm used to using right there. It looks like a nice little koozie for your bottle. I got a stainless steel koozie here as well. We got desk mats. I mean, you are in luck. I mean, you are not starving for variety and products here on Movies Merica, on the Movies Merica merch store right there. Okay. And so right now we're making it very easy to get to this Movies Merica merch website, because the web address, or the address, the URL, or the link, I should say, for the Movies Merica merch store is down in the description, right on down there. Yep, very easy. click on that and get yourself, some Movies America merch. And I got to say, it does make for a very good conversation starter, a good icebreaker. All right. I mean, I've worn like a Movies America hat out or a T-shirt, and had people come up and ask me, "Hey, what is Movies America?" Okay, because I think they like the alliteration of saying Movies America, and they just kind of curious. I mean, it's an unknown commodity, and just it makes a good conversation starter there. And I have to say, one time I did have a very, very, let's say, luminescent woman come up and ask me what Movies America is. And unfortunately, I looked down and she had a big rock on. So, but you win some, you lose some there. But fellas, that may not be the case. All right. If you're single and ready to mingle, and you wear your Movies America T-shirt or hat or whatever, or you're drinking out of your Movies America koozie, yes, you might also have a total smoke show come up and ask you what Movies America is. And then, hey, if she doesn't have a rock on, hey, you know what? Game away, man. There you go. But enough about the Movies America merch here. I think I've made my point with that there. But I just wanted to, I wanted to make sure I didn't hog all the Movies America merch all to myself right there. And then also, Movies America merch makes a great gift right there. You got like a grandma that, you're in kind of, you're not in good graces with, you're not on solid footing there, and you're kind of worried about where your name is going to be at on the will, or you're not even sure if you're going to be in the will. Well, hey, give your grandma the gift of Movies America merch, all right? Because nothing says "I love you, Grandma" like a Movies America sports bra. No. Let me try something else. A Movies America coffee mug. There you go. Maybe your grandma likes to drink coffee, or she just likes a good mug to put her dentures in. Who knows? There you go. And then, hey, presto changeo, your name's in the will again. There you go. Nice. All right. So I don't know how to get out of that stupid diatribe that I was just on. So I'm not even going to try to be slick about it. We're just going forward. All right. And now some random thoughts about The Martian. And I'm sure all of you are like, thank God is getting back to The Martian, because that's why I'm here. All right. And my first random thought about The Martian is such an event movie. Okay. And it just seems grandiose and immense. And what helps in it giving that impression is the dynamic movie score by frequent Ridley Scott musical collaborator Harry Gregson Williams. Now, he collaborated even more, actually, with Ridley's brother Tony on movies like Spy Game, Unstoppable, Deja Vu, and Enemy of the State, just to name a few there. And unfortunately, we lost Tony Scott there back in, 2010, because, he offed himself. He unalived himself by, get this, jumping off a bridge. Yes. Which I didn't know the guy personally, but just from a guy from, afar off there, he made great movies, and it just didn't seem like the kind of guy, again, I didn't know him personally, but that would off himself, but he did. But hey, before, he went to that sweet by and by, he did make some good movies. I mean, he made a little movie called, you might know it, called Top Gun. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. True Romance. Absolutely. Great Tony Scott movie. But back to Harry Gregson Williams. And Gregson Williams worked under some guy named, maybe you've heard of this guy, Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Hans Zimmer, for a long time, and learned much of what he knows from Zimmer, such as, combining classical orchestral scores with modern electronic overtures. And you get that combination. You get that combination with The Martian score here. You get the sweeping orchestral pieces during dramatic moments, and then you get like some synthy overtures during moments of action, right? Or like when he's preparing something, or planning things out, that kind of thing. And it just ends up being a chip off the old Zimmer there. And then another random thought I had about The Martian is, if you go to YouTube, a prominent category of YouTube videos regarding The Martian is that of how scientifically accurate is The Martian, okay? And I just personally think that's such an uppity, navel gazing. Hey, look at me! I think I'm smart. Waste of time. As much as these video creators like to make sweet, sweet love to the high intelligence they think they have, they're still not intelligent enough to know at the end of the day, The Martian is still just a movie, not a documentary. It doesn't have to be down to the letter, every T crossed, every I dotted, no stone unturned, scientifically perfect. I say the same about historians making YouTube videos, criticizing historical inaccuracies in historical movies. Like, it's historically hysterical when they do it. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, don't you guys get it? These are movies, all right? It's not on the National Geographic Channel. It's not on the Discovery Channel, all right? These are movies. You know what? Hello, McFly. They do take dramatic license, and they are entitled to because it's a movie, okay, not a documentary. But I think they just, love the smell of their own farts, and they just want to get on YouTube and just, try to show everybody, I'm so smart. Yeah, you are lucky to live on the same Earth. You're lucky to live on the same planet as me and my awesome, godlike intellect. So I think that's why they make those videos there. So and they just end up just looking so uppity and dumb and all of that stuff right there, and it just doesn't come off well. But I mean, hey, that's them. That's a them problem, not a you problem, right there. All right. So, real quick here, before I go on to any more The Martian here, which I do have plenty more Martian talk for you here. I got a fantastic segment coming up here pretty soon. But before I do that, I just want to remind you that this show you're watching right now, Movies Merica Live, this show on Sunday afternoon, is not the only Movies Merica show that comes on each week. I've got a show that comes on Thursday nights. That show is called Movies Merica Spoiler Warning, and that's a show that I do where I address the same movie that I address on my Sunday show, in this case, The Martian. But the Thursday show, I don't worry if I drop a spoiler or 2 or 10. Okay, I don't care. Now, I don't go out of my way to drop spoilers. I mean, I'm not like, chomping at the bit, when I start the show, like, I can't wait to drop all kinds of spoilers. Yeah, like, no. But I'm not gonna, like, kind of tiptoe, like I'm walking on eggshells, trying not to drop a spoiler. Okay. And to that end, I, even do the courtesy of letting you know, even in the title of the show, Movies Merica Spoiler Warning, that yes, there's a warning, there's spoilers in this show potentially right there. And but yeah, I mean, check it out. Now this week is a little different than most weeks because I am reviewing a movie that's 11 years old. And so, yeah, chances are you've already seen The Martian, and so you don't care if spoilers are dropped. So in that case, hey, yeah, join me on Thursday night, and that show comes on at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time, or specific time, as some people call that right there. Okay. And yeah, we're going to talk about The Martian. And even if you haven't seen the movie, if you still want to help me out, there's an easy way for you to help me out here. What you can do is you can fire up the show and still do that, but just mute it. Just mute the show. And YouTube and Rumble, they don't know that you're doing it, but that still helps me out because they still think you're watching the show. Okay. And they're like, oh, hey, YouTube and Rumble, like, all right, yeah, let's give Van some credit, right? He's got people watching the show while at the same time you're not getting the movie spoiled for you. So we both win. It's beautiful, baby. Yes, all right. And that's what I do with like a lot of shows on Rumble and YouTube. If I'm busy doing something else, I can't direct my attention to a show. I will fire up a show on a computer in my back room or something like that, and just mute it. Okay. And they get credit for the watch hours right there. So if you want to do that for me, that would be fantastic. I would appreciate that. And you know what that costs you to do? Zero. Yes, zero right there. So absolutely free to help me out. But again, yeah, Movies Merica spoiler warning this week, all about The Martian. And again, that comes on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time there, ladies and gents, boys and girls. All right, let's move on with the show. All right, right now comes the time for a lot of people's favorite segment on my Movies America shows, and that's the segment where I let you know if the movie I'm talking about this week is a woke after school special. Okay, and I should probably was that even a word? I should probably preface me going into into this segment right here uh, with letting certain demographics know what a after school special is. Okay, because I mean, if you're my age, if you're Gen X, maybe older millennials, boomers definitely know what a after school special is. We all know what those are, right? But anybody younger than that right there, they're probably like, hey Van, love the show or hate the show, but what is an after school special? All right, and so I'll tell you what that is. So it's basically it's these shows that are no longer on, but they're shows that came on like in the 80s, late 70s, and what they were is they played right after school, hence the name after school special. And you would come home from school and you'd be like, Mom, hey, can I have some Sunny D? We're gonna go watch Gilligan's Island, or we're gonna watch the Dukes of Hazzard, or whatever. Right? And you turn on the TV, and all of a sudden, this show that's not the Dukes of Hazzard would come on, and the show was about, hey kids, don't do drugs, or hey kids, don't smoke, or hey kids, when some van with no windows, with a bunch of ice cream cones painted on the side of it, comes by with a guy who looks like Joe Biden, and he's like, hey kids, come on inside. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. All right, come on inside and get yourself free ice cream cone. All right, Uncle Joe wants to play with you. Like, hey kids, ignore that guy. Run as fast and as far as you can from that guy. Like, they were like shows that were about teaching kids valuable lessons in life, but at the same time, they were extremely cheesy, extremely corny. Okay. Mercifully, I think they usually were like just a half an hour long. All right. But that was long enough to ruin your plans to watch Gilligan's Island or Leave It to Beaver. Right. And so that's what an after school special is. And again, those came out like late 70s, early 80s, around that time there. And so now we've got, in the last 15, 20 years, we've got a lot of movies where they're not really movies. Okay. They're not interested in entertaining and intriguing you or providing some infotainment or anything like that. No, they're made specifically and purposely to lecture you, okay, to preach to you, okay, to get on their woke soapbox or get behind the woke pulpit and subject you to the great awakening. All right, and so we've had so many of those movies come out that I deemed it necessary, and obviously plenty of other YouTubers and movie reviewers do this too, where we all found it necessary to help our fellow man by warning you if a movie is woke. Okay, and so the way I do it, of course, is I warn you whether a movie is a movie or if it's just a woke after school special that you have to pay $18 a person to go see, right? Okay. And so about The Martian, is The Martian a woke after school special? And add this to the massive pile of things that make The Martian a monumentally fantastic movie. It's got zero woke in it, all right? And however, they came close, all right? It almost did if they had kept this particular deleted scene in the movie.
You asked me how you did, and I'm giving you my answer. My answer is, Look, I'm going to make people forget there's a very strong possibility that Mark Watney could die because that is what you were paying me for. And unfortunately, I need this job because currently I am paying alimony to 2 deadbeat ex-husbands because somehow gender equality has bitten me square in the ass.
Hard to believe.
I left them.
Yeah, I mean, as you could tell, that is that would have been a totally crucial part of the movie. I mean, it was so important. It was so pertinent for people to see that scene right there. It adds so much to the plot of the movie of saving somebody from another planet. It's like it just adds so much important context to that whole plot right there. So it's obviously that scene needed to be cut. It added nothing to the movie, except for some wokeification right there. And so, as you saw, we could have gotten Kristen Wiig bitching about being bit in the ass, by something feminazis said they wanted, of course, before thinking things through. And Chiewetel Ejiofor submitting to her at the end like a submissive, effeminate lapdog. Wisely, that scene, of course, was cut since it would have defiled the creation like a massive turd floating in a pristine pool. That's what woke does. I mean, that's the calling card of woke. It takes the true and beautiful, it hideously deforms it. Like, let's say, I don't know, like taking a high school cheerleader who's a 10, all right, and after a college year of woke brainwashing, deforms her into like a 3 with green hair, a septum ring, tats, and 2 additional chins, courtesy of 150 extra pounds. All right, so there you go. It's not the freshman 15, it's the freshman 150 nowadays, right there. You send your beautiful, beautiful daughter, okay, to college, and last thing she says to you when she gets out of the car to go to college, "I love you, Daddy." And then the first thing she says to you when she comes home from, on Christmas break from college, "I hate you, Daddy. You're an evil white man that probably wants to colonize someplace." Like, do you want your daughter to end up like that? Is that the transition you want for your daughter? Well, maybe think twice, before, you like send your daughter off to Stanford or UC Berkeley and you brag to their neighbors. Yes, Ashley got into UC Berkeley. Well, we're so proud. And then, and she walks in the house, slams the door open, and, "Hey, white people, I got some lessons for you." Okay, there we go. So if you want to avoid that, avoid the college experience there, unless it's a college that literally is just there to educate and teach people how to think, not what to think. There you go. But that's the old is this movie a woke after school special there. All right. So, but it's time to proceed on with the show as we are getting close to wrapping it up here. Now, before we start wrapping this show up here, I just want to take a minute here, and this is like probably the most shameful part of the show for me, the part that makes me feel the most dirty, and I have to scrub myself down in the shower afterwards, like Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura Pet Detective, like it's like fecal and Einhorn and fecal. Ah! Okay, so that scene, I know you know what scene I'm talking about, but the reason that this segment kind of makes me feel dirty is because I'm basically letting you know, like, if you are so inclined, if you want to throw a buck or two my way, I'm showing you how you can do that. Okay, so if you're watching me on Rumble, it all starts out with the live chat window. So if you don't have the live chat window up already in Rumble, or if you're not in the live chat in Rumble somehow, all you gotta do is click on the chat button or the live chat button right there, and it's basically right at the bottom of that live chat window. There is the section where you type in your little live chat message right there. So right down there in that area, there's a button with a $sign on it, and you just got to click on the button with a $sign. It'll pop up another window asking you how much you want to donate to this guy right here. And that's it. Very simple, very easy. Okay. Now, the first time you do it, if you've never done it before, then it'll probably ask you for your bank information or your debit card or something like that, because it's got to know what to charge, right? But after you do that the first time, it'll never ask you that again. Okay. It's much easier after that. So, but that's pretty easy in and of itself right there. Now on the YouTube side, it works almost exactly the same. There's just one little teensy little difference. And so on YouTube, again, it starts in the live chat window. So if you don't have the live chat window or the live chat up at all, up already on YouTube, then just again, go down to the live chat or chat button down there, click on that. And then down by where you would type in your live chat or your live chat message, click on a button with a dollar bill on it. That's the big difference. The button has a dollar bill on it in YouTube. And when you click on that button, it'll just pop up another window asking how much you want to donate. And again, like on Rumble, if you've never, donated before, it'll just ask you for your payment information one time, and that's it. Okay, and it's very secure. I mean, I've made plenty. I've made plenty of donations to people on YouTube shows and Rumble shows, and I've never had a problem or anything like that with people hacking my card or anything like that. So, but yeah, and that's only if you feel inclined to do it. Maybe you're like, hey man, Van, you suck. Your show sucks. I wouldn't even give you a bucket of spit. All right, there you go. You don't even deserve that right there. Or hey, you're like, Van, your show is awesome. It's so informative. It's so helpful. Thank you for saving me from spending 15, 17, 18, $20 a person, just to go get lectured from some woke asshole during this movie. Okay, there we go. Well, thank you. Okay, or you maybe appreciate being turned on to a new beer during brew review time there. So if you appreciate that enough to give me like one measly dollar or five, or 10 or 500, there you go. Most certainly go ahead and do exactly that right there. Okay, if you are so inclined. So there you go. Very easy, very simple. And again, man, see, I feel dirty already again. Ugh, not in a good way. Not in a good way. So, but enough of me begging for money. I know it's quite disgusting and all of that stuff right there. All right. So, all right, let's mercifully move on. All right. So, yeah, as you could tell here, I mean, just to give you my final thoughts on The Martian here, I mean, yes, I am fully endorsing you going to see this movie. And I told you that from the outset. Definitely check out Matt Damon and Jeff Daniels and Michael Pena and Jessica Chastain looking pretty damn good in this movie. So is Kate Mara, all that stuff. So I know it's people like shouting at the window. Stop talking about how hot the women are, you simp. All right. Hey, no apology. I'm not gonna apologize. I'm a 100% pure uncut heterosexual man, and I appreciate a lovely lady when I see her. I'm not apologizing at all. So there you go. But in addition to lovely ladies, you get some great dramatic moments, great visual effects, just plenty of levity in this movie, lots of funny moments in this. It's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. You get like great banter between Mark Watney, Matt Damon's character, and his crew, with them busting each other's balls. Yet there's professionals. They all love each other, and like I said, his crew doesn't hesitate for a second. As Sean Bean's Mitch Henderson character says in the movie, when Kristen Wiig says, "Hey, but we're asking the crew to add 533 extra days, in space," and Mitch Henderson, Sean Bean's character, just says, and they wouldn't hesitate for a second to do it. They'd happily stay in space that long to go save their friend. Great. It's a great bonding movie. It's a great entertaining movie for that. And then you got a great moments at the end with the whole world just cheering on the rescuing. Is that a word? Rescuing? Yeah, the rescuing of Mark Watney. So yeah, I mean, it's a movie and it's widely available. This is not going to be hard to find. The Martian. You can find it on a hard copy. It's probably on a multitude of streaming services there. I would watch it. Yeah, try to watch it in as good a format as you can, 4K or whatever. Streaming HD it's okay, but it's not like it's not the same as 4K off of a hard copy, like a 4K 4K disc right there. But it's serviceable. Okay, yeah. First world problems. Am I right or am I right? So there you go. But as we get ready to wrap up this show here, again, I just want to ask if you'd follow me on the platforms that I'm on. I'm on X under @Movies Merica. I'm on Facebook with a Movies Merica page, Movies Merica group. I've got my Van Ebert profile on Facebook. Of course, I'm on Rumble. And if you look up Movies Merica on Rumble, you're going to see like 3 Movies Merica accounts. So, if you would follow all 3 of those accounts, then also I'm on Gab. I'm on Instagram. And, check those platforms out and find me on there and follow me. That would be fantastic there. And just say hello. Just say hi there. And I will say hi right back. It's fantastic. So, all right. But, all right, let's kind of move on here or whatever. Sorry, I got distracted. That happens. That happens when you're doing a live show. You sometimes get distracted. But as I always say, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/Movies Merica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.